In this video I have a simple setup to show you how the viewfinder works. I've got my two bottles, a standing one and one lying on its side that you can see here according to the assignment. And I've already done the first part of the assignment. I've gestured in the bottle first, and then after gesturing it in, making my guess as to about how big, how wide, how tall it ought to be, I'm going to use my little viewfinder. And this is how it would look. It's watching someone drawing how they're using their viewfinder. They're looking through the little window at the object, and they're going to be adjusting this thing and moving it backwards and forwards in relation to their eye in order to kind of frame the object as tightly as you can. Now, from the camera's perspective, this is basically what I would be seeing. Is okay, I want to sight the bottle, I want to use my viewfinder to find the proportions of the bottle. You can see that I already have this one set to about what it is, so that was just a way to make this go a little quicker. So now that we can look at this at the opening here, and we can see that the width of it, if we call that a unit of 1, its height is probably about 3 and a little more, maybe 3 1/3, maybe 3 1/2, not quite. So I've drawn in my bounding box around the bottle also, and again, just to kind of speed the video along so it doesn't go too long for you, I've framed it as with reference lines as straight and as parallel to the edges of the page as I can get. You'll notice it looks a little crooked in the video just because we're at a slight angle here. But anyway, once I've done that, I can take my width, my narrow dimension, as my unit of 1, and I can gauge 1, 2, 3, and I've got about 3 1/2. So I'm really close, and I like it. I think I'm going to leave it alone like that. It looks right to me, along with combining my intuitive eye along with some sighting here. So let's go ahead and draw in. Gesture in the other bottle. It's laying down on its side and seems to come to the shoulder pretty quickly here, and we're just going to extend out the neck of the bottle about so far. It's doing something like that. I'll make it a little bit darker. I think maybe a slightly narrower, slightly longer neck. And that's about where I am. So I'm going to call that good. I could take some time here and try to find the bounding box of that. That might be a useful thing, but what I want to show you is that you can use the bounding box not just to sight a single object, whether it's this bottle or whether it's another bottle doing something, but that you can sight an entire still life. And in this case we only have 2 objects, but even so it can be helpful to sight an entire still life to get a sense of what the proportions are. So, very roughly, through the camera's perspective, I'm sighting the bounding box of the entire still life. Now again, I've got some parallax, so it may look a little crooked, but to your eye, you're going to want to keep things very straight and square. So that's roughly what I have. You can see I'm at the top of the bottle, the standing bottle. I'm at the bottom of the standing bottle, and at the left and right I'm at the far ends of the lying down bottle. So altogether they come up with a proportion that's rather square. So I'm going to hold it right here so you can see it, and I'm going to put my paper clip on there, trying to keep it straight. Put the other paper clip on there. And there we have it fixed, and we can take a look at this and we can judge this as saying, well, it's about, if I take my length of my pencil here, if you take the shorter end, it's about the length of my pencil, slightly under, so you can see that it's about 1 to 1. It's maybe 1 to 1 1/4, something like that. So those are the proportions that we found there. Now what kind of proportions are we going to get here? Let's just strike some lines. Here's the left side. Here's the right side. We're just restating that top line, just lengthening it. Same thing with the bottom in this case. And there I can see, oh look, I've got a box of a certain proportion, and it's looking really close. To my eye, what I see here is, if I could take, let's say, a hand's width and 4 fingers. I've got a hand's width and 4 fingers plus a little bit more. So I basically have a 1-to-1 plus a little bit more relationship. So I kind of got it right on in this one. And that's how a viewfinder can be useful in sighting not just a single object within a still life, but actually the entire still life itself.